Last rest, motherfucker.
Obviously, opinion is gonna be different.
Yeah, signing back in, baby.
Not at the level that he was after he died. No.
So you're saying before his death? Me personally, my opinion. Bro,
he's an icon.
Nah, that was thugged out.
Yeah, that wasn't no.
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either.
You have no vote. With that being said, world, welcome to
the Great American Hip Hop Debate. Hip Hop Debate. Hip Hop Debate.
Welcome to the Great American Hip Hop Debate podcast, episode 6.
Yes.
I'm Burnz. Hello. Good afternoon. I got my man VS next to me.
Yes, sir. VSOP recording live and direct, straight from Straight Fuego Studio. Shout out to my man E.
Yes, sir. Damn, I wanted to say something. I forgot. I'm on point already. On the check-in, on the phone check-in, we got Big Brother Mook.
Yes, sir. Mookie.
What's poppin', my bros? It's good.
What's good, kid? How you feeling today?
Chill, kid. It's Bloodshot, a.k.a. Mook Edit.
Yo, there's a funny part in the last episode that there's a Mook Edits drop that I heard, right? Mook Edits.
Yeah, it came in a little late.
It came in later than it should have, right?
Set it up.
Yeah. I thought that.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. Also on the check-in back from a quick vacation, Jeff Kittles.
Yes, sir.
What's up, good fellas? Happy God Day, man.
Yes, sir. Happy
Feeling blessed. Happy to be here.
Yo, I like that energy.
Yeah. I like that.
Always. Come on, baby.
Yeah. Nigga sounds like he's moving fast, right?
Mm-hmm. Like he's on a treadmill and shit.
Oh, shit. That you ain't carrying over from last night.
Oh, man, still in the system.
Let me stop.
Drug-free, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And for the first time, checking in, the Golden Boy, a.k.a. J Trees. Welcome to the show, J Trees.
Yo, what it do, fellas? Glad to be here.
How you living?
One day at a time. You know how it is, Theo.
I hear that, man. It's good to have you on the show, bro. That's a new chapter. A few episodes ago, I think it was Mook that said we like the woo, and we got some chapters and some chambers that we didn't bring out yet. So it's good to have a new energy today. Shout out to the brother Black. He's on vacation. He went to handle some business.
Yeah. Yes, sir. The motherland.
Yeah.
Shout out to
safe,
Black.
baby.
Make sure he's drinking water only out there.
Yeah.
Say hi to Black. No bootleg liquor. Nah.
Let's hit the bootleggers.
Funny thing, though, Pop Dukes was like, well, he could drink rum. I mean, that's what we're known for. Ain't no fucking Dominicans gonna be bootlegging rum. Or beer, too.
True.
That's what I said, beer. You safe for beer.
Well, shout out to him. A couple quick shout outs. Shout out to the Breath. Shout out to all the Breath babies. Shout out to Nice One for the artwork that he's been pumping out. Shit's been looking pretty dope.
Yes, sir.
Fire. You nice.
He's going to be on the show soon, matter of fact.
Yeah.
He's actually relocating up north.
Yes.
I don't know if we're supposed to blow that up or not, but it's too late. Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck that. Welcome back.
Big news.
Shout out to my man Irv.
Okay.
He been showing a lot of love on the gram. I
Yes,
don't
sir.
remember his gram right now, but shout out to him.
Shout out to Irv, baby.
And also to his nephew Elias, right?
Eli.
Yeah.
Yes. Elijah.
Shout out to them. They left some Elijah. Yeah, shout out to them. They left some love on the gram.
Yes, sir.
Some
Shout
good
out.
feedback.
Yes. Keep it coming, baby. Keep it coming.
Their
We got
own
more
list,
shit.
so that was dope. Shout out to my man Brian D. He's actually up north right now, handling some business, some personal stuff. So shout out to him. Keep your head up.
Keep your head up, Dookie.
Shout out
Shout
to
out,
my
B.
homegirl Kat. She's
Dookie.
also going through some stuff, so shout out to her. Keep your head up. She's been checking in, so that's dope. Y'all got any shout outs real quick?
Shout out to all the listeners, all the love we get. You know, we wish it could be more, but we cherish every listen, every feedback, text, phone call, comment. It's love.
Yeah, shout out to all the fans, supporters, social media. We appreciate everybody supporting the breath. Shout out to everyone else from the LBE fam, Knockout fam, Be Wise, Medina, Fax Medina, Menace, Bordy. Shout out. One love.
True that. That was good. Hog, anything?
Shout out, like you said before, to all the breath babies. CO, love you. You know what I mean? Like you said, shout out to all the listeners. Keep it coming, you know, keep the input coming. We appreciate it. Definitely shout out to Straight Fuego Studios. Always making it sound crystal clear.
Definitely.
Shout out to my man F, man.
Yeah, shout out to brother F.
Respect, man.
Last episode we did what? Top 5? Oh no, the drafts.
Yes.
So that was like
The draft.
that was fun. That was a funny episode. But like we've been like on some friendly shit, you know, like on some I like this guy and I like that guy and
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick him because he's dope. Man, fuck all that. We gonna get aggressive today.
Oh shit, here we
Back
go.
to
Coming with a
debating.
different energy. Last episode I was on my peaceful hippie vibe. This week I'm on some Ultimate Warrior shit.
Niggas all aggro.
Body slam nigga
I
out
did my
here.
pre-show stretch. I got a Red Bull.
Yeah, nigga
I'm
drinking Red
hyped
Bull.
up.
The fuck?
Nigga, wigs out here. Shout out to 20K to Bishop.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on my twin shit.
Word.
Nah,
That's
I'm
the head of
talking
security
shit.
right there.
I'm talking shit. Nah, but we put in two rappers head to head today. Two really dope MCs, two legends. Rest in peace to both of them. We're gonna have Big Pun, representing the Bronx.
Yes, sir.
BX, baby.
Representing the Terror Squad.
Your favorite borough, Burnz?
Yeah. I love all the boroughs, but I love Bronx. Like on my list, I don't know. It kind of falls a little bit on the lower end, on the lower spectrum. But they do have dope shit. And shout out to all my peoples in the Bronx.
Yes.
Shout out my homegirl Mary Jane in the Bronx. My cousin Jazz. I know y'all Florida brothers got a lot of family in the Bronx. Shout out to
718 BX. 718 the BX. BX is home. Yankee Stadium.
Man, listen, man. The VX was the only motherfucking borough had 4 porno channels when the bootleg cable boxing was out. That's respect.
Nigga was
All
eating
the other
mad
boroughs had
cookies.
2 porno channels, nigga.
J.
That's
Kid,
why all them bitches was freaks. Shout out to
VX, baby.
J. Kid.
Jimmy Brown, all them freaks.
hey.
Third eye freaks. I love y'all.
Jimmy's Bronx. Shout out to the Mago Pina spot on Creston. Porterman. Porter Rose on Fremont.
Wait. This thing is.
Yo.
Nah, I'm not even gonna repeat that. Yes, shout out to y'all. Big Pun. And he's going. Yo, Jeff, you're
Puerto
a wild
Ricans
boy.
and
You're a
Dominicans.
wild boy.
He wild out.
Yo, my nigga, that's a true story.
I had to put my sunglasses back on.
Yo, for real. Yo, J. Kid is
Speaking the
speed,
truth.
yo. J. Kid is speed, no brakes.
Oh shit! Who drank the Red Bull? Me or you?
Always. Let it be known.
I told you it sounded like he was moving fast.
Word, I'm telling you, man.
All
He's
right.
speeding.
So, all right. So Big Pun versus representing Harlem, representing 139th NFL.
The danger zone.
Yes,
the
Harlem.
Zone, Big L.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Harlem also.
Word.
Y'all wasn't as excited for Harlem, and
Word.
I love Harlem.
Oh, yeah. What happened to Harlem world and all that, man?
Harlem really is home. You
Yeah,
know,
show Harlem.
I'm right across the bridge from the BX. 3rd Avenue Bridge.
Shout out Titty Tane.
Mm-hmm.
Love to Titty Tane, yo.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Shout out
Harlem
to
Music Hut.
Teta.
Harlem's finest.
Yeah.
Apollo.
All right, man. Damn, it's too much love. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, what happened to the aggro Joe?
Aggro. All right. So, I fuck with both of these guys. I was studying both of their catalogs, which I only consider to be 2 albums deep each, really.
Right.
Anything after each of their second albums was posthumous and put together and shit, and they really obviously didn't have any input.
That's a good SAT word right there. Posthumous.
Yeah. I've been studying. After Mook hit us with Zeitgeist last week, I had to get in my thesaurus shit. I had to get on my vocabulary app.
It's part of my vocab. Got to get my grown man on.
That's right, baby.
Nah, I love it because we're educated. We're not ignorant, and we can speak very eloquently, and that's always a plus.
Yeah,
that's why I fuck with y'all. Y'all some good guys.
We know how to articulate.
So,
agreed. I mean, you can't be at no fucking corporate meeting straight out the N-word either.
Exactly. So I mess with both of these guys, and we're gonna break down. We're gonna go into a couple of categories, and then at the end we'll each select, I guess, like a favorite or who you think was overall just better as an MC. So we're gonna go into I don't even know where y'all really want to start because it's all kind of related. But I guess we can go into album versus album, and then that'll lead us down different paths. So if it's album versus album, Big L's first album was Lifestyles of what? Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous?
The Poor and Dangerous.
Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous.
1995.
Word. Dope album.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with it, and I kind of wished that I had heard it in the time frame when it was released, because I think it would have had a better impact on me, because now it sounds dated.
Yes, absolutely, very much.
And I do remember the singles, MVP and Put It On.
Put It On.
And I think that there might have been a third single. No, I remember the
No
group
skins,
track.
no head.
Yeah. No ends, no skins.
No skins,
Oh,
no head.
yeah. And then there's the group track with Jigga,
The Graveyard.
which I remember hearing.
Yeah.
But then there's other tracks that I don't remember hearing, but I do remember hearing because some of the verses were used on the second album. But it would have been dope to have heard it at the time.
Right. I remember hearing it at the time.
Y'all remember hearing it when it came out?
I do. I definitely do. Funny thing is, who put me onto that album?
Who that?
Oscar.
Oscar.
Shout out to Oscar Arias.
Yeah, that's a good brother.
Shout.
Yeah.
That was a crazy cat.
He's the one that put me on and shit.
Y'all Florida brothers remember hearing this when it came out?
The single, not really the in track, low key track, the in album, low key tracks.
Right. So not the album. When did you discover it as a full body piece of work?
I'll probably say like my freshman year, so 96, 97.
All right, so maybe like a year later or 2 years later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mook, you remember hearing this when it came out?
Yeah, same thing. Pretty much me and Twin did everything at the same time.
All right. Well, I'm only gonna ask.
I'm a little older.
I'm only gonna ask one.
Hey, yo, he was up on game. Nah, he's my twin, so we did everything at the same time. That's my brother. We moved the same.
Nah.
So I'm a couple of years older, but he was on point.
I'm not hating. Trees, any feedback on Big L's first album? Did you hear it when it came out?
When it first dropped.
I didn't hear the whole album when it first came out. I was just put on to the hit singles. He had a lot of buzz in the streets at that time, but it wasn't really like I wasn't up on his album when it first dropped. I came about it like right around the same time J. Kid did, like 96, 97, which at that point he was already had a lot of support. So
yeah.
So
like, one thing that I remember is that Jay-Z's on the album. So he was already famous. So I have to say, like after 96, like after Ain't No Nigga, like that's when he caught some traction, and then Big L. We already, everybody knew about the singles, MVP when that dropped. Yeah, and he was.
But if I remember correctly, Jay hadn't dropped Ain't No Nigga yet. he was only he had only In My Lifetime and I Can't Get With It. They had their In My Lifetime single. What at the point that
what I mean is when I discovered it.
Oh, okay,
what I mean is when I
fault.
discovered it. It must have been like 96.
Right.
Or
Okay, I get what
97,
you're
it
saying.
could
I
have
get what you're
been.
saying. That's my fault. Yeah.
You know, because people drop albums all the time, but it wasn't as highly known. So it might have been a project that we all slept on.
Well, it was.
He was more underground.
Yeah,
He was a lot
it
more
was a different
underground.
time.
That was.
It was.
Yeah.
It was easier to miss an album, you know, because it was harder to market an album. So his album was probably released like not a lot of copies and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it came out on Columbia, and I believe after that album they dropped him because they wasn't really feeling his album. It was so underground, so street. It really didn't have any, besides MVP, he didn't have any marketable singles.
Right. Well,
yeah, it didn't have much commercial appeal.
Well, if y'all remember, too,
Correct.
he was also branded as the one of the pioneers of what they call horrorcore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
That's
yes,
weird.
I was on point with that. Like grave diggers.
exactly.
Y'all got that
Like
vibe? I
Kick or
didn't
Freak,
really get that
definitely.
vibe.
Yeah, on some of the songs he's talking.
Yeah,
some
he was-
grim,
he was-
like,
he was-
satanic shit even
On the album?
Yeah,
Yo,
bro.
his matter of fact, his another single that came out on that album, if I'm not mistaken, was Devil's Son.
Exactly.
Which
Right.
the title itself was just crazy. Like he had some dark beats. Now Big L, you know what I'm saying, at that time coming up in Harlem, like crack era, yo, that shit must have been scary itself. But
He talks
you know
about
what I'm
that
saying,
shit
the
on that
stories
song.
he was telling, yes, exactly.
Aliens as the crew, J Trees, Children of the Corn.
Exactly, with Mason Cam, and McGruff.
Word,
Killer
word.
Cam,
Good shit.
Murder
I
Mace.
didn't
Good shit,
I
Trees.
didn't get that vibe, yo.
Yeah, nah, hell yeah.
Not
bro.
to
I
label him
didn't
as
really get
hardcore.
Yeah,
I didn't really get the grave diggers vibe.
not.
You know what I'm saying? But definitely three hardcore gutter, like, niggas ain't fuck. That nigga's probably spitting like with a 45 in his waist, for real.
Yeah, exactly.
For real.
Exactly.
Nah, definitely he had the street vibe. He had the gutter vibe. Excellent storytelling and detailing. So
Yes.
those songs on the album were what I liked because, you know, he was capable of putting you in the scene, which I appreciated, but I didn't get the horrorcore vibe at all. And to think that his label would push him in that or even put him in that box.
In that direction.
Yeah,
Try
to
to be
me
like
that- to me
Nas,
that's
because
super
Nas dropped on
disappointing,
Columbia.
though. That's probably why he didn't succeed as much, and then they ended up dropping him because they already put him in this box that was limited. You know that was a
Correct.
very small market of fans that wanted horrorcore. You know that shit blew up
Eventually,
for like a
yeah.
second.
Eventually, no.
Um,
Eventually got to like it's a subgenre. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
but it wasn't like, you know, super popular and already limited.
Yeah,
Like y'all really surprising me right now by telling me this. So, but that makes me think to another reason why he didn't succeed as much, because if that's the way they were pushing him, that's whack to me. That's a terrible decision.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he was
Correct.
capable of more, and they should have pushed him to do more. That's why I prefer the second album, because I don't know if he was involved in what it was eventually released, but it had more of a commercial appeal sound, and I think he sounded comfortable there.
Mm-hmm.
And he could have built on that and been more successful.
Yeah, had more of
Let me
a
piggyback
mainstream
on-
career. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go
let me
ahead.
piggyback off what you're saying. And the second album, I wonder how much he had to do with it, because it was posthumous. Does anybody know?
Yeah, well, actually, the big
I want to
picture-
get to that
the
later.
big
Yeah,
picture.
but we're not on the second album yet. So hold on,
All right,
hold
so
on.
all right,
hold that thought.
All right, go ahead.
Back to the first album,
Okay.
because Harv, because you were the only one who listened to it when it came out. Like, how did it?
How did it resonate?
You know, yeah. At the
Um,
time, with all the other releases that were,
Well, you got to
coming
remember,
out.
think of 1995. What came out in 95? Wasn't Cuban Link on
Mad
there?
shit.
You know what I'm saying?
oh, I'm not gonna remember shit.
You know what I mean? So there was
Nah, Cuban Link didn't drop till late summer.
all right, but it was in the same year is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but you know, with that album, I would say it relates more to 94 because it was recorded in 94.
True. And that
there was a lot of projects that time and the sound was changing.
You're right. Actually, if you think what Mook just said, it was a big drastic change from 94 to 95 as far as the sound of hip-hop. It started going away. It actually started going away. It just started sounding different.
So do you think Big L's album was more the 94 sound or the 95
absolutely. More 94. I mean,
so when it came out, it was already sounded dated? Because it sounds dated as fuck now.
Oh, yeah, it does. And but the thing is, like I was just saying, it was recorded in 94, so there was a huge shift. Like, there was, I don't know what it was. It just started everything started sounding different, And to me, it was dope. To me, I still liked it. I ain't gonna front. I fucked with it. And I knew that he was dope. Lyrically, he was gifted. I was like, he was doing shit that up until that time, I only had seen maybe one or two people do.
Yeah,
and the other being Jay-Z on In My Lifetime, and I can't fuck with it.
Well,
I can't get with that. That's what it was.
What I liked was that he was he would do the spit fast shit like momentarily.
Yes, he was able to incorporate that into a regular flow, and then basically double time his lyrics at will. And that was, to me, at that point, that was impressive. And he was able to do it
like two different flows.
Yeah. And he was doing it mid verse and shit. And to me, he did it effortlessly. I was like, wow. I was impressed. I ain't even gonna lie. I was very impressed.
Go ahead, J-Kid.
Go ahead.
I think it was the budget, I think it was the money in both, like, in regards to the sound change from 94 to 95 and his first album as opposed to the second, let's say. You know what I mean? He's outrhyming the beat on the first album. The budget, like, the beats are not all that. It's like the jazzy beat rock kind of sound. But
well, the producers on that album were Buck Wild, Lord Finesse, Diamond D, you know what I'm saying?
They were big time niggas, but the sound, it was a little redundant, and it was just, you could tell, the whole underground vibe, it was hard for them to market him any other way. With his look, his image, and the sound of that album, the beats in particular. Yeah, I honestly think it was the budget. And as far as from the 94 to 95 transition, it could have been the budget as well. Like, that's when probably niggas was paying the money. Like, we need to really, you know what I'm saying, start marketing this hip-hop shit.
And he had buzz when he came out. That, like, with MVP, that was a good hit. Like, it was a good song for him. It did well for him.
Yeah, at the time that was a hit. Even if regional.
Yeah. No, it did well for him. I remember because it was everywhere at one point. It was even on the radio.
And put it on, too. The fact that, it was 50 shit, that shit was like,
Yeah, but as far as what you were saying regarding the budget, I think if they had X amount of dollars for him, and then they were like, "Oh, we're gonna make him horrorcore," I think they would have slashed whatever they had and invested less, and that would have led to the disappointing return. Again, why his album wasn't as accessible or as marketed as some other albums. Because if I would have had him, hold on real quick. If I would have had him and I would have had him with that DITC production, I think I would have pushed him more like along a Nas angle as opposed to a Gravediggers angle.
Right.
Yeah,
especially with his image.
Let me cut in with this though. With the beats, what I was trying to say between the years 94 to 95, it went from his album sounds a lot like Evil D, like that sound, like Black Moon, and then 95 started turning into like the whole Bad Boy era, you know what I mean? Because then Bad Boy was on top of the game in 95. And Wu-Tang already more definitely
and clearer and
more polished.
Exactly, less jazz. We sampled from places that we never heard before, as opposed to a loop jazz sound. You know what I mean?
With the typical horns and all that. Yeah.
The whole DITC, I think brings even a better sound. But I think what it was is that Big O was like, "Yo, I can spit on anything. So let me get some minimalist beats. I'll make these tracks, and we'll pump out this album." And that's what happened.
I feel he wouldn't even have paid for those tracks for some reason, being that it was
for real. It sounds very street. Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
gave him.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Basically,
but
you know,
so in comparison to that, but we all like the album, right?
I did. I loved it. I remember at the time I loved it, and then hearing it over time, and then again coming back to listen to it for this purpose, of being on the pod and everything. I was like, yeah, it felt good. I loved listening to it. And his wit alone makes you just want to keep listening to it,
Yeah, I like the album.
I really like the album for that time. So listening to the album now, it sounds like that year, that era.
Yeah,
like you said, it does sound dated. Granted, because we're listening to it far more years in the future when he dropped it, but realistically, like, he had in-house productions. That shit sounded like he recorded most of it in somebody's basement. The beats must have been given to him. And the fact that he was still able to put together such a correlated album with the low budget he had, or whatever the case would have been at that time, but he just has that 93, 94 Harlem sound. And you can still hear it when you listen to the album now, whether it's outdated or not. The stories that he's telling may not be relevant now because people may not have been around at that time, or the people that are around are not around that anymore. Neighborhood too. Yeah, correct. The neighborhood's changed, but I bet you it's relevant to the cats that were around him, like Lord Finesse and Showbiz and AG and Buck Wild and all these cats. Mm-hmm. So like, I really dig the album, not just because of his sound for that time, but when it's nostalgic for me because it reminds me of Harlem at that time.
Yeah. I feel you. I didn't expect to like the album as much as I did because I hadn't heard it ever until
really
until recently. Yeah. The whole album.
Yeah. In its entirety.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had heard the second album. I don't know. I was never big on Big L.
I was. I always loved Big L.
So I never listened to the album. So like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. So
okay.
It's dope. I like it. Like I said, I really like his storytelling. I think if we go head to head versus Pun, storytelling alone, I would give that to Big L.
Big L. It's his wit too, man.
Wait. Storytelling.
Yeah.
Storytelling, my brother. Don't sleep on Punisher, dog.
No, but I don't think Pun did it enough.
No.
When he
didn't do it enough. He wasn't that type of rhymer.
Yeah, he did it dope when he did it, but I think Big L did it more often.
Yeah. The thing with Pun and Big L, the difference between them two is Big L could not only with his rhymes, he telling you a story. Big Pun, he painting you a picture. So you talking about two different kind of rappers. Storytelling. Big L had him.
I'm talking about straight storytelling.
Yeah, Big L had him.
Yeah.
Big L's best song is a story. Matter of fact, one of his best songs, in my opinion, that he got.
The Dice Game.
You know this.
Casualties of Dice Game.
Yeah, that's a
nigga. That's just my shit, man.
Yeah.
He crazy.
All right, so yes, all thumbs up to Big L's first album.
Yeah.
All right, now comparing that to Big Pun's first album, because Big Pun's first album, that's
the fact that
classic album.
It also kind of sucks too because they didn't come out exactly at the same time, even though they were basically in the same era. You know what I mean?
Well, Pun came out in what, 98, right?
98.
And
so it was 3 years later.
And it was from more or less the same camp, production-wise, no?
Very true.
Not very true. Yeah, they had a lot of similarities.
Like a 98 version of DITC on the production tip.
Yeah.
Not all of
they
it.
had that whole link with Fat Joe.
But
not all of it, but like, I think Buck Wild was on there.
Yeah. Buck Wild. Minnesota.
Buck Wild, yeah.
Minnesota, who would be along the same lines.
Yeah.
Havoc.
He was on there?
Production wise, wasn't he on there?
I think so. I forgot. Then you also had the RZA.
The RZA.
Yeah, the RZA. Yeah.
Come on, man. Fucking RZA.
I don't know. I felt like they were along the same vein.
And they must have definitely been around each other.
You know what it is?
No,
because it's imagine a family tree. So you got DITC and then you got Big L underneath it, right? But then on another branch, you got Fat Joe, and then Fat Joe
And Big
brings
Pun.
Big Pun.
So I made that whole link, that whole DIT.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That Bronx Harlem connection, yo. They definitely was together all day.
Uptown, baby. No,
All right, so
We get
capital
down,
punishment. Real quick, let's see, like what are your memories on that? Because I remember that album. I bought it in fucking Oklahoma when I was in the Army with my man Mike Macon. Shout out my man Mike Macon. I still fuck with that cat. And we drove from Oklahoma to California listening to that album. So
Nice.
I remember that shit.
That's
like,
dope. That's dope.
Yeah. So that was a dope album to me. Like, where were y'all when y'all first heard this album?
Y'all can go ahead, man. I'll let y'all rock first. Go ahead, man.
I was in high school. I remember waiting on it because I remember just knowing about him. Like, yo, this nigga right here is gonna be nasty. I think he was on Off the Books, and then a couple of freestyles. Excuse me, a couple of freestyles and shit. I don't know if it was on some Flex shit.
Yeah, I remember he was on
spitting
the Funk Flex
on,
volume, I think volume 1, 60 Minutes of Funk volume
Yeah,
1.
yeah.
With Fat Joe.
Yeah.
And he actually kills that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the one where he's spitting on a Wu-Tang beat.
He's spitting on Triumph. Is it Triumph?
Is it Triumph?
I think he was.
Nah.
Was it?
Nah,
it's
I think it's off the Purple Tape. I think it's a bit off the Purple Tape.
Oh yeah, I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm so yeah.
But
and they
rips
going back
that
and
shit.
forth.
Yeah. And then he was on before the album, he was on, what was that? A Raekwon song? Ice Water or some shit?
Nah, that was
Firewater.
later on.
Firewater, that was after the album?
After.
No, I think it was before. Before the album.
Oh, yeah, that
I
was
know
before.
the track.
Yeah, that was part
I think
of
it
the
was
That's where
before.
you first heard Punt. That's where you first heard him.
Yeah.
That's the first time anybody heard Punt.
Actually,
Was it on
no.
that? Was it on Firewater the first time?
The first time I actually heard Punch was like an official track was the Soul in the Hole soundtrack. He had You Ain't a Killer. That was the first time I heard, and that was the first time I heard that song. And that was before it was even on his album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I think the first time I heard Pun was on the Flex shit. For some reason.
Yeah, me too.
And then Off the Books.
I think so. Flex.
And then I think Firewater. And was John Blaze before or after the album?
No, that was after. Yeah, that was later.
John
That was after the album dropped.
All right, so
That was on the Don Cartagena shit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
John Blaze?
yeah, and I think that was before the Pun album.
Nah, nigga, that was afterwards. That was
yeah.
that was after he died and everything.
That was right after. Yeah,
Nah,
that was
it
right
wasn't
after.
he died. He was
already on top of the game right there.
Yeah.
Nah.
Nah,
Nah.
Don Cartagena
Cartagena
when
came
he
out
said that
before
he
Capital
found
Punishment.
Pun's rhyme book.
Nah, Don Cartagena that came out in '98. Think about it.
That
It
ain't
was
come
the
out
song
before
Puff
Pun's
Daddy.
album?
Yeah. Don Cartagena came out in '98. Matter of fact, if you listen to that album, and I think it was before the Pun album because
It was.
he wrote that fucking album. Listen to Fat
Yes,
Joe's
that's what we
verses on that
said.
album.
Remember Burnz? That's what I always told you, that Don Cartagena was Pun's first album.
Yeah, we spoke about that.
He wrote the whole fucking thing. He wrote all the hooks, and he wrote all Joe's verses.
All of Joe's verses.
And you know he
yeah,
wrote
and
his
you can hear
So
it.
he was featured on the album too, wasn't he?
He was
Yes, he's
Didn't he
all
have
over
a
that
track on
album.
the album?
Yeah,
like,
he was on a
actually
couple
sang.
songs. Yeah, he was rapping
That's
on
what
the
I'm saying.
all
So
over the
that
album.
would have been. Yeah.
So what was after?
That they came out.
No, it was
they came out
before.
before.
Yeah, Don Cartagena was
Before.
first.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm tripping.
I think.
Was.
Yo, let me look.
check. Look it up.
I
Look
always
it up.
remember
But I'm
saying
pretty
that
sure. But
shit.
let me
It's
see,
up to
let
the
me see the
audience
track
to
list
fact
right
check.
here. Look.
Let the audience do this.
Pun is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 15 tracks. So he's on a third of it. And then I know for sure he wrote the fuck out of this album.
From the first track, the Crack Attack,
Yeah.
you could tell that
you
that's
can hear
Punch,
that shit
nigga.
immediately.
on the Crack Attack.
Hell yeah, I totally agree. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, because John Blaze is on that album, I'm pretty sure that was before Capital Punishment. So when Capital Punishment came out and I heard that shit, I was like, wow, this is fucking dope.
Real quick, Capital Punishment came out before Don Cartagena.
Yeah.
A few months only. Yeah. Capital Punishment.
It was
came
back
out,
to back. It was back to
Capital
back.
Punishment came out in April, and Don Cartagena came out in September. Same year.
August, September.
Yeah.
September.
That whole summer was his. Yo, from there he had the whole summer. Every summer was on Smash because of Punch.
Yeah, and remember,
Everything was on
didn't
Smash,
damn, look up real quick when the Terror Squad album came out.
Oh, that was after the Pun album too.
No, I know it was after, but
Like 2
I
years
think,
later.
That was
Damn,
in
you
the
did
summer.
2 years
That was in
later?
the summer.
Nah.
I mean, like 2000.
I feel no.
I was actually
really?
listening.
The
I was
Terror
I
Squad
was
album?
I was listening to that the other day actually. So
I
I'm gonna
feel
let
like
y'all
it came out. Oh yeah, maybe. Wow, you might be right.
99, 2000 maybe.
You almost
2000.
Damn, that might be correct, yo. But
Yeah, he had it on Smash.
99.
know.
Wow.
99.
And the other two were 98.
Yeah.
When in 99?
Oh shit, you want specifics?
My bad.
Summer of 99.
El Diablo.
No.
Like-
I just wanna see the
See
timeline.
the timeline? Yeah. I got you,
because
I
if
got you.
Pun came out, you said April, right?
April,
And then Joe came out September. I would think the Terror Squad album, if I was them, I would think like March, April.
September 99.
April.
September 99, they waited
So it was a year. It was basically a year. September.
But 99. So when did Yeah Baby come out?
Oh, that was
2000.
After he
99.
2001. No,
No, it was yeah.
99.
Baby dropped 99 too. I think it dropped April 99. Right before the Terror Squad. Talking shit. Keep it real.
Really?
Yes, I think he's right.
Yo,
I remember
keep it
listening
real.
to It's So Hard, like spring '99.
Yeah.
He dropped after he died. That baby dropped after he passed away.
When did you say it was, kid? Treason. I'm sorry.
I said April.
April of
Like April, May of 99.
Nah, April of 2000.
2000. Oh, so it
Yeah,
came out
that was
after.
Yeah, 'cause he was already
Yeah.
dead. He died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out like 2 weeks or something after he died. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
April 2000. Yeah, that's not fair.
Yeah.
All right, damn. That was a good little Terror Squad timeline run right there.
They
Yeah, yo.
Yeah, because back then,
back to back right there.
yeah, back then an album would last longer.
Yeah, shelf
time
life.
span wise.
Shelf
So
life was longer. Yeah.
Pun's album came out 2 years after, one came out in 98, one came out in 2000. So it had a good 2-year run, and it had an ample amount of singles to keep it alive
Absolutely.
for that time.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Still spinning.
Yeah,
He
and
he had everything on lockdown when he dropped the album. That's all I remember. I remember everybody. That was the biggest shit. That's why it's hard to compare to Big L, because Big L dropped in a different time zone and is one in a different mind state. But when
And didn't
Pun
have
dropped
a different
Capital Punishment,
impact.
forget it. Yeah.
But
And
that's
everybody
why I
on it.
mentioned budget earlier, because comparing it to Capital Punishment, whether it was the same producers or not, when you hear the music, it just sounds
crisper.
way more crispier and more expensive,
yeah,
yo.
yeah, definitely,
like they're in a totally different fucking studio.
But
Yeah,
like
also,
the
but
tracks on the album.
there was
Double the tracks.
there was also huge advancements in technology from fucking 95 to fucking what was it 98
Yeah.
and shit. You know, in those 3
98,
years, you
hell
know,
yeah.
a lot of shit
hip hop
came out.
itself had
Hell yeah.
evolved.
Exactly,
so
huge, yeah.
definitely the
So-
sound had evolved, and the quality of the sound had
Absolutely,
evolved.
it took major steps.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Equipment.
Pun's album sounds fucking dope. Like, it hasn't
Oh.
aged whack, like you
Yeah,
can hear it now,
yeah.
and that shit still sounds fucking dope as hell.
yeah, it's a
It's
dope
like
album.
throwing on Goodfellas, yo. It never
Yeah.
gets
Yeah.
old.
It's a dope album. It's a really
When
fucking
it's-
dope
And it
album.
sounds
One of the
crystal
greatest
clear.
hip hop albums of all time.
Yeah,
All right, real quick, since you were all aggro before that shit went away,
nah. It's
what
gonna come
didn't you like about either both Big L or Capital Punishment?
Well, what I don't like about the Big L album is hearing it now that it sounds outdated and the sound quality isn't up to par. I didn't like that it didn't have, like I said, commercial appeal. I like the lyrics. I like the storytelling. The songs, obviously the storytelling songs were, for the most part, lacking of hooks or at least catchy hooks. So there was nothing really catchy about the album. It was for purist hip hop fans that are lyric breakdowns and they're gonna remember bars and shit. So me being, I always like melodic, I always like catchy, I like hit records. There wasn't really a hit record on there. It had good singles that were what they were, regional, but it didn't have commercial or crossover appeal or anything Like right now, I can remember MVP the hook, and I can remember Put It On, although they're simple. But other than that, like nothing is super memorable.
Right.
Still dope, you know. But I don't think I'll go back and listen to the album often.
No doubt. What about y'all?
Burnz, real quick.
What about y'all, Florida?
You know what I remember about it? Just going back to it to do research. Like, yo, have you ever heard Jigga on this track? Somebody might not be up on it. Yo, did you know that One More Chance was sampled on this album before
Big, yeah.
P. Diddy?
Yeah.
You know, before Big.
But that's why. Yeah.
Just other Big L shit. You know, like, you reference a lot of his music. He was like an architect in a lot of this hip-hop shit.
But I'm saying, though, what
I
didn't
wouldn't
you
say
like?
all that. An architect.
You got to.
Shit?
Nah. But
He's got memorable moments. I don't think he shifted anything or really super.
For you to be a rapper, for you to be a rapper that might trump Jay-Z on a freestyle, you got to know that he's a master.
That's a memorable moment. Yeah. He had his memorable moments.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
all right, so like I was asking.
So what
Burnz,
don't y'all like about the album?
Yeah, what don't y'all three like about the album?
So me personally,
Or either album, either Capital Punch. Well, we'll stick to.
I didn't get to Capital.
Yeah, we'll get to it. So go ahead, tell us about Big L. What might have what would have you changed or didn't like about the album?
what I didn't like about the Big L album, as far as it was so underground that it never got the chance to take off. Aside from the backing of the label or the support that he had from whether it was money-wise or funds, whatever, it was just so underground that he didn't. A lot of it sounded redundant at times if he wasn't really paying attention to what he was saying.
You got to figure that was on purpose. That was like his fault, no? Because he was alive for that album, so he had to have had a lot of input, obviously. So I think that's on him. I think that's the sound he wanted.
Yeah, I felt like he wasn't really trying to sound so redundant on the track as far as like that horrorcore that he was labeled for. I felt like he could have had if you really listen to the album, it has more than just the 3 singles that could have been hits if it had the right amount of spin. But then at that time, hip hop was what it was. It wasn't what it was when Pun's album came out.
Hence the time frame, 94 to 95. The whole sound changed on him.
Yeah, so so like
it was a bad time.
Yeah, all right.
For me, that's what I didn't like about it.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know, because then you look at an album like motherfucking Illmatic. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like Illmatic still sounds. I don't think it sounds outdated to me. Illmatic.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. So it's the same time frame, and it don't sound like that way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He was selecting. He was selecting those sounds, and to formulate whatever sound he was trying to create, but it didn't have that.
Exactly, the production. Yeah, the production worked for him.
Yeah.
I actually like what Mook said earlier. That he was probably. I mean, we don't know obviously, but he probably has so much confidence in his craft and in himself that he probably was like, "Give me whatever fucking beat, nigga, and we gonna make it work."
True.
Exactly.
True.
Damn, but if that's true, that's fucking.
That's pretty arrogant.
Yeah, and that's a poor attitude to have. You got to try
his whole label.
But that was hip hop, though.
That was hard
at that time.
Yeah, his label flamboyant. That's arrogant.
Yeah, no, I
know?
get it. I just said that.
That's
as
how Harlem is.
But
I get it. What don't I like about the Pun album?
Yeah, now we switching to Pun real quick. What didn't you like about Capital Punishment?
I don't know, I liked most of the album. You know what's funny that I don't like now? I don't know, I guess because I'm old, the porno skit.
Oh, yeah, right before Punish Me?
Yeah, like I skipped that shit like, I
like
know. I'll be trying to live right.
It's meant to skip, I guess, after a while, but I like that it's him. That's him.
Yeah.
You know, he's a fucking character.
That's one of the pluses of the album as opposed to Big L's album. Pun lets you more into Pun his character, and he lets you see his funny side.
Yeah.
Big L had
He's real
funny moments,
charismatic
but
on track.
Pun had funny shit in his album.
He made fun of his own weight. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, skits.
Pun.
He might have the best skits in hip hop.
Yo, Pun.
It's arguable. The skit with Cuban on that album, the Pack and the Mac.
Yes.
It's actually two skits in one because it's continued from the other skit where he's rolling up on the block.
Yeah.
Feel me?
It's at the beginning
So
of
that
what
right
song is
there, because that fucking just that off alone, just boom.
I felt like Capital Punishment is a motion picture.
Yeah, it's super cool.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yes.
All right. We're
So, to answer your question, I don't really think there's anything I don't like.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
not sure there's anything I don't like. If there is anything, I think somewhere along the line, the sequencing, I might have changed it. As far as the order of the tracks,
I think it was too long.
You would have took some songs.
Hell no.
Yeah, I think it was too long.
What songs would you have taken out?
That's the tough call.
It makes it entertaining.
You know what song I really like, and it's buried in the album? Matter of fact, speaking of storytelling, the one that they talking about doing a robbery.
Oh, what the fuck is it called?
Him and Cuban and Triple C.
Yeah, him and Cuban, and they talk about robbing somebody, and then Fat
The
Joe
mixing is really well on there. The ad-libbing.
Yeah, that
the
song is really.
And the sound.
But I hate that it's so deep in the album, because I think the album had like, I want to say 19 songs, possibly 20 something.
20 plus.
20 plus, yeah, right.
Yeah, but you got to think that some of those were the skits.
Yeah.
And then he has what I really like, a little interlude where it's just a beat playing for like 30 seconds.
Oh, that's The Rain, yeah.
Like, damn, why
Rain?
was that on there?
No, because he sings on The Rain.
Yeah, The Rain in the Sun.
No, it's a track.
Yeah.
Just
It's
the
right
beat
before. I know what
runs
you're
for
talking
like
about.
30 seconds.
Yeah, that's dope.
And it makes me think. It made me think at that time, like, yo, why is that there?
Yeah.
And I think about it now, and it could be that Pun made that fucking beat and shit like that.
Could be, yeah. And then I love the Rain skit.
Yeah, that's a dope.
That shit is fucking fire. Like, I love that shit.
The one with Busta is towards the end of the album. I think that's where it belongs.
Parental Advisory. Yeah, that's a really dope song. Yeah, that might be like one of the very last songs.
What, Parental Advisory?
Yeah.
It's the last song.
It's the last song, right? Yeah. And how many tracks was
the
it?
beat? It's a little outlandish.
24 songs,
it's
yo.
almost like it doesn't belong.
Are any of them skits?
Yeah, the skits.
My bad, Jake.
Yeah, he has like three.
What'd you say? What didn't belong on the album? J Kid.
Me, you say?
Yeah, I thought you just said something about something didn't belong on the album.
Oh, the beat. The Parental Advisory. It almost sounds like a little, like I don't know, a little. Sometimes you need that track, but it just sounds like a little different than the rest of the album.
Yeah, I like.
It was a hot track though.
Yeah, I like that song.
I like the one with Nori a lot too.
Oh, I love the one with Nori. The one that he had the video for.
You came up with that?
Y'all remember the video where he's on some 007 shit?
Yeah. He also had Glamour Life on the album.
That was produced by
that song Glamour Life too.
Glamour Life is dope. He switches up the hook with his bars. That's you know what song was really dope that I not that I slept on,
that's
but like
one of my favorite tracks.
listening to it this week. The song with Miss Jones.
Punish Me.
Is that the name of the song?
Punishment. That's me singing Punish Me.
Yeah.
Yo, that shit is fire. I love that track.
I should have dumped you when I call you in my boy's Camaro. That shit. Yeah. That's a really my
Pun let you in, like my mother said.
Pun let you in, bro.
Nah, like Pun, one of my favorite lines that Pun ever said, man, is fucking on Beware that J Kid brought up, man. He says, "You niggas, flawless victory. You niggas can't do shit to me. Lyrically, physically, hypothetically, realistically." I was like, oh my God, this nigga's a fucking animal.
He had a way of putting together syllables
and words. Oh man, it was technically I tell everybody that listens to fucking hip hop and shit. To me, technically, he is definitely top 3 as far as a technical rapper. Being able to put words and syllables. He, in my opinion, he's top 3.
Vocabulary, his vocabulary, serious.
But just the way I'm just talking about, like his sentence structure, his syntax, everything. It's amazing.
Yes.
To me, he's top 3 in the game.
He made
ever,
a song.
ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
One thing that Twin always says is that he always ends the song like on a punchline or with a clever line, something that keeps you wanting to go back to the song and yo, I want to hear another verse and another verse, and like he'll tell a story and end it right on a dime. Like he'll stop on a dime and be like, boom, bring the hook in. And always the hook was larger than life, the beat was larger than life. He came out at a perfect time. I think he would have still been alive. He would have been on top of the game right now.
Yeah,
that type of person.
Because he had he had the commercial appeal. You know what I mean?
I always said that
to sustain a long career. You know what I mean?
And he also had the ear for future talent.
Yeah.
I think if he had not passed, Remy would have been bigger. Tony Sunshine would have got his chance and been big. Cuban Link would have been bigger. TS as a whole would have been bigger, and he might have. Who knows if he would have branched off onto his own, separating from Joe and did his own thing.
Right.
But it sucks that they both their stories are very similar, including how they passed and when they passed in relation to their albums. Because they both passed before the release of their second albums, and I don't know how much. Like I said earlier, I don't know how much Big L had, how much input he had on his second album.
Hardly. The thing is that it was all recorded and then it was released 2 years after.
So was it all recorded? Because I like the album. I do like the second album. But was it all old verses? Was there anything on there that hadn't been already released?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was.
Like there was new music on there?
Yeah, there was new music on there. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like the shit with him and OC.
Oh, yeah.
What, like 50% new music, you would say?
Yeah, probably more.
Yeah.
Probably more.
Well, I do like the second album. And I thought that was a better display of more true to self. Big L.
Right.
I think he was more appealing to fans. I think the sound was better, more universal.
Accessible. It was more accessible.
I think it had, better features. Yeah, better production.
Yeah, I had broader production.
Yeah,
I should say, not better, just broader.
Yeah, no.
His second album was grown. It was grown. Yeah, his second album was grown. His first album was his freshman year.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell his second album was much more up to date. Everything sounded crisper. Some of his rhymes even sounded just a little more advanced.
Yeah. Everything, like I said, everything to me about the second album sounded better. But in comparison to Big Pun, who you can tell had a lot to do with his second album.
Oh, yeah.
So his second album was completed probably right before he died. And then it was released 2 weeks after his death, no?
Exactly. So, like I said, he was definitely, I'm pretty sure he had, 99% input into his album.
Yeah, I think that album was done.
Yeah. And it was just...
Yo, the parallels to Biggie, no pun intended, twice, but the comparison to Biggie is big, yo. Word is born.
Well, I think they're all the same to me.
What do you mean?
All three artists, they put out their first albums, which are, Big L's album is considered a classic to some. So I would say they all put out classic first albums. And then they all died before the release of their second albums.
Well, Big L didn't have as much to do with the album, Just
well,
like
that's a slight difference,
Yeah, but also, I don't know, Big's album to me is, how could I put it? It's more heralded, you know what I'm saying? It's viewed differently, in my opinion, than Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous and even Capital Punishment. And Capital Punishment to me was I remember when he got the 4.5 mics, I was like, fuck, man, what does he have to do to get that fucking half? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I think Ready to Die is just more heralded. It's just viewed differently. You know
yeah. Viewed differently, but
Ready to Die.
Yeah, but that's another.
Yeah, that's a different argument.
No, the parallels of them dying. Part of them dying they had everything to do with their second album. They was about to be on top of the game, and boom, they died before that chance.
Right.
Big
Yeah,
L,
but that don't got nothing to do with
again,
what we're talking about. Why are we talking about Biggie?
All right. Anyway, yeah. I'm just saying. I'm going on.
what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to say is that it's a great comparison because Big Pun is that type of a rapper. He looked at as one of the best of all time.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but again, it still don't got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
All right. So anyway, go back. To
So bring it back. Let's bring it back. Real facts, fellas. So yeah, baby, the second album.
Y'all just both think. I'm sorry. Y'all just all think Pun had the better albums.
the better both albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Definitely the better first album.
Yeah, for sure.
First and
my
second.
opinion,
I would say better both albums. Definitely the better first, as my man just said. And then the second album, comparing it to maybe any other album in hip-hop you could compare it to.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, in this conversation, it's better than Big
The
L.
second album you're talking about.
Yes. What I'm saying is, yeah, baby, is not just comparing it to L's album, comparing it in hip hop is up there. So for this conversation, comparing it to L's album is definitely better.
That's an easy victory. But you think Yeah Baby is better than Capital Punishment?
That's tough. That's a tough call. Yo, dead ass. That's a tough
No,
call.
I know. That's good. But I want y'all to think. Come on, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
That's a tough comparison. All right, so obviously Big Pun beats Big L in both album categories. So eliminate Big L from both.
Yeah.
Close, even if it's close on the
second album is very close for me. Very close.
All right, so regardless, Pun wins because you're one vote against all.
Yeah, exactly right.
So eliminate him. Now, Big Pun versus Big Pun. Capital Punishment versus Yeah Baby.
That's a tough call, man, because wow. I don't know. I'll stick with Capital.
They're two different albums.
Yeah, they are.
They're two different albums. It's hard to compare
two different albums.
First album and himself when he's spitting about two different shit.
All right,
Like,
we know they're two
his
different
first
albums.
album
Which one is better?
Yes, exactly. I don't know. I'll stick to.
We will never know.
I'll stick to what J Kidd.
No,
said
but your
a couple-
opinion.
No. But this is how
I
I
know.
feel. But I'm gonna quote J Kidd on this: the originator, none greater. You know what I'm saying?
But
So-
J Kidd thinks Yeah Baby is better than Pun.
I'm just quoting J Kidd. That's all I'm saying. I say that the first album is, you know what I mean?
All right, so one for J Kidd. What do you think? Is the originator better than the creator or the fabricator, whatever the fuck rhyme this nigga said?
Fucker, yo. I can't give you that answer, yo. I think it's a tie for me.
A
Is that
tie?
allowed?
Mook?
I think it's Godfather 1 and 2, basically.
We're not going back to that argument because I was confused the first time we had that.
That's
Trees,
it.
Trees, give me an
You
answer.
can't
Pick
have
an
the
album. Which
second one without the first.
I would have to
understand
say
that,
Yeah
but just
Baby.
Pick one, yeah.
For me.
Yeah Baby, yeah.
All right, Yeah Baby.
I'm partial to Yeah Baby.
I feel you.
I
Okay.
would agree. I think Yeah Baby is a better album.
Yeah.
Not by much because I think they're both excellent albums.
Yeah.
I just think on Yeah Baby he was expanding his sound beyond New York.
Yeah.
I think Capital Punishment being as dope as it is, I think is a very New York sounding album production wise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on Yeah Baby he was expanding that sound into a more commercial, not even commercial, just a more universal sound.
I agree. I
with some of
felt
what
like he
he
was more hands-on with it.
Yeah, like he was even more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
What was those? He had a couple stupid ass songs on there that was funny, but they was catchy. Like longer versions of the skits he was doing on the first album.
Oh, like that nigga shit.
Like that nigga shit.
Yeah.
Like
Get off my dick.
Get off my dick.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
laughing at you now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
funny shit.
I'm
but-
laughing at you.
Yeah, even then it was catchy.
Yeah, true.
The first one was dope, and they had funny shit in skits.
But think about it. He was probably trolling back there. He was like, yo, I can make it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, he
definitely.
was
But that's
definitely
what I
trolling.
love, that he was already so successful.
Right.
And he had done, he had accomplished so much with his first album that on his second album, I think he had the freedom to do really whatever the fuck he wanted.
Right, exactly. Because they were like, oh, he was already mad successful doing,
Yeah, so I think that comfort allowed it to be, to me, a better album.
Right. Right. I got
Agreed.
So let me ask you this:
I get it.
you think it's 5 mics?
The second album.
Yeah, you think the second album's 5 mics?
I think they're both 5 mic
micers.
albums. I don't think either album has a skip. To me, my criteria for a 5 mic album, number one, you can't have any songs that you skip. And I don't think either album has a song that I particularly skip. And then I enjoy the production on both albums. You know, I enjoy the lyrics.
Right,
I enjoy
right.
the songs, the memories attached to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they're both 5 micers personally. For different.
I've always said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, if I'm putting the two head to head, I'm going with yeah, baby.
Okay.
Agree. I agree.
All right. So damn, I lose in that category. All right, no doubt.
All right, so damn, that's pretty dominant of Pun on the album tips. So let's go somewhere where I think Big L had an advantage, which was on freestyles that released either before their albums came out or in between projects.
Right.
If there's anything Big L is notorious for and heralded and applauded for, I think, is his freestyles.
His freestyling ability.
Yeah, he left a lot of material. If not song-wise and album-wise, he definitely left a lot of fucking freestyles.
Right.
Pun had a couple, and they were dope. And I think he would drop loosies here and there, like the toe-to-toe track. I remember that shit being dope. But I think on the freestyle tip, I think Big L had him.
Yeah.
Y'all, what y'all think? Y'all remember? Obviously, the Big L and Jay-Z is like the memorable shit.
Yeah.
But I know Big L had a freestyle, I think, on a Tony Touch, the 50 Best MCs mixtape or something.
Yes, 139.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go, bong.
On the 10 Crack Commandments.
Right.
One of my favorite freestyles.
Yeah.
That was dope. J Kid, I know you remember a lot of Big L freestyles. So who do you think had the advantage on that category?
Go ahead.
I mean, you got to go with L because of everything that you said during, the little introduction in the segment. But, Pun just didn't have that much freestyle material. The freestyle material that he did have was obviously amazing, as always. Like the Total Toe, like you said, and like the other one we referenced on the Wu-Tang beat and whatnot. But you got to give it to L because that's where he did a lot of his eating, like you said, yeah. And, like you said, the JC one, the one we just spoke about, he got another freestyle. He got some material out there, bro. So you got to give it to him. Man. He's gonna take the cake on the freestyle.
Yeah, and like I said before, I think he also has the advantage in storytelling. So I give him both of those points. But let me hear what the other brothers got to say in regards to the freestyles. Mook?
So I agree with Kid. I would have to give that to Big L regarding freestyles. Not taking anything away from Big Pun. All his freestyles are fire, and he had actually a lot more material than people may actually remember, because he was a spitter himself. But hands down, Big L, that's what he ate off of. His whole come up and upbringing was freestyling. His whole demeanor, I spit on any beat, anytime, any place, anywhere.
You don't think Pun was the same way?
I think Pun still, if put in that same situation, he wouldn't back down from a freestyle battle, or he didn't have that kind of persona. But I just the way Pun was put, he came up through somebody, not that he got put on by somebody, because he was put on when he started to spit regardless. But Fat Joe gave him kind of a hey, you know what? This spit over here, or spit on this track. Big L, he came up with a crew because he knew he was known for freestyling. He was able to hang with other cats that not only were able to spit, but freestyle amazing as well.
I agree, J. Trees. I agree with that because Big L was like a mercenary, he was like a sniper, and then Big Pun was already he had his own squad, his own team, he was they both overpowered the track when they were able to get on the track with other people. But on some freestyle shit, it sounds a little bit better for Big L to finesse it than for Big Pun throw his weight on it. You know, lack of a better comparison. You know what I'm saying?
I like the word.
Yeah. He's gonna bulldoze the track. You know what I mean? You're gonna be like, yo, I want to listen to Pun right now. But if you want to listen to intelligent punchlines, that you're like on some, yeah, exactly, like on some mathematics, listen to Big L. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so let me ask
together.
y'all.
You're gonna be like, oh.
Let me ask y'all this question: who would win if they went head to head, like on a battle, like an 8 Mile scenario?
Damn.
Damn, that's tough. That's tough.
Wow.
Come on, somebody give me a fucking answer.
All right, real quick. I don't want to get into the dramatics of it and all that, but yeah, I think L would take him.
Yeah, head to head, rap to rap.
Yeah, I'll tell you why, and this is what my reason. You know, what we all were talking about freestyles and shit. One thing is, for Dame to be like, "Yo, this nigga's a problem. We need to fucking sign him." You ever heard the fucking phrase, "Can't beat him, join him"?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? For Dame Dash, yo, you know how arrogant Dame Dash is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for him to be like, yo, this nigga's a problem and we gotta fucking fuck with him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
The fact that we never got to see that come
yeah,
to
bro. That was in the works right before he passed. You know what I mean? That alone right there. And then number 2 is, back in the day, like, you remember that certain freestyles would circulate. You understand what I'm saying? And then they would wind up on albums maybe, but they would circulate. You understand what I'm saying? Yo, that didn't happen with Big L freestyles, yo. It was always new ones. You know what I mean? He would always pop up with a new one. So right there off rip, like, I would give it to L, man. Like, how he was able to pump out freestyles like that in an era where, like I said, freestyles would circulate. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Real quick, we're going to go back to this. For all of our listeners, you got to remember we come from an era pre-internet where music was distributed mostly by tape that would circulate, so it wasn't as accessible. So right now you can go fucking YouTube Big L Jay-Z freestyle and it's gonna come up in 0.32 seconds. But back in the day, you had to search for that shit, and you might end up copying it on a white label vinyl, but you would have it, and then you would put it on a tape, and then you would spread it to your boys, and they would copy it, and then they would spread it to their cousins out of town, and that's how music would circulate, and that's how people would get a buzz. It isn't how it is now, where everything is built so organically. So I get the point.
Or even have to wait for it. Like sometimes you have to wait for it. There was always freestyles that would drop a certain night. It's not like we was able to access that. You would hear buzz like, oh, such and such is gonna be on the radio. Then they get on the radio, spit a freestyle that you never heard before. Right. If you wasn't listening to the radio at that time, you had to wait for that freestyle to circulate back either on a mixtape or something. Like, it's nowhere near the way it is now.
Most likely, you would be recording it at the radio. You would be at the radio waiting
to dub
on the record button. Yeah,
waiting to dub that shit, baby. Yeah, I remember.
All right, but going back real quick, head to head, 8 Mile battle. Who y'all got winning?
I said L. I took L.
I'll go with L too, yo, and I'll tell you why. I think Pun was at his best on a track. So in a freestyle battle, L's wittiness would overshadow Pun's lyrics because he's probably coming up with shit about his way, obvious shit, but making it sound dope. As to where Pun might still be charismatic and might be in his wit, in his wit as well. A lot of the the bars that he spits, probably when you're live, you're probably just there like, this nigga's just saying some bullshit. You feel me? Yeah. And you would give it to L, with L just shitting on him, dissing on him, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, one thing I want to touch back on real quick that you just said, Pun on track versus L on freestyle. Pun, a lot of times his funny shit was in his ad-libs. So I'm definitely going to agree with you on that. I think live, in a live setting, I think Big L would get more crowd reactions because he had more of the easier to digest bars and punchlines. Yeah. Where Pun would lose a lot.
Just overall wit. Because
yeah. So I definitely agree that Pun would lose a lot of his delivery in the freestyle scenario or environment.
Yeah.
It's just obvious that Pun is better on tracks and L's better on freestyles.
Right.
Freestyles transitions to battles organically and without you don't miss a step. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
so he would take the cake. He'd take the cake.
What about storytelling? Do y'all mostly agree? I know Mook had some pushback on that category.
Go ahead, Mook.
Well, going back to just how Pun told stories, I think that he painted a good picture as well. Where y'all saying Big L, I can understand where y'all coming from because most of his dopest tracks were stories, like we said before, like Casualties of a Dice Game or whatever other track that was like a story. Even Ebonics is like a story. Matter of fact, that track.
Yeah.
It's a thesaurus.
He's a better storyteller. Big L. I'm gonna give it to Big L as well. Freestyling like on some 8 Mile shit, I give it to whoever goes second. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
That's a good. Hey, that's a good take though. That's a good take.
Yeah,
though.
but it's technically not an answer. You know?
It's whoever goes second.
All right, so who goes
tie,
second?
basically, because
So in your imaginary...
you know what it is? Big L is nasty with the freestyles and Big Pun as well. So he might say something where you're like, damn, you follow him a little bit, and it's even, you can make the correlation that one is black and one is Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? So it depends what crowd is in attendance as well. You know what I'm saying? Big Pun will come with a punchline that will end your career. He would say some crazy shit to Big L.
All right, so who would win
He would say
if
some
you're
crazy shit.
imagining the scenario that deeply?
Whoever goes second.
So who
It's
in
a
your
tie.
imaginary
It's a tie.
scenario goes first
Second,
or
yeah.
second?
Yeah.
You're not going to answer the question.
It's a tie, my nigga. It's a tie.
That's
Who
a
died first?
pussy-ass way out.
Yeah.
Who died first?
Fucking cop out.
All
Rest in
right,
peace, both my niggas.
Yeah. Trees or J Kid, any more input on these two freestyle or storytelling categories?
Storytelling, yeah, I'll give it to L. I think, I don't know, I don't remember Pun much for storytelling. Maybe here and there. But yeah, I'll give it to Al.
Nigga was debating.
Yeah, because the best track that I remember him on the story was the shit at the end of Capital Punishment, the one that we referenced earlier, where they're all I think where they're all on it, and a lot of it is ad-lib and the sound effects.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Pun is definitely good at storytelling when he would do it.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Just
not
like
taken
I said,
away.
Big L did it more. All right, so in freestyle and in storytelling, obviously, are the lyrics. Both artists had dope lyrics, dope delivery, dope flow. In my opinion, I don't think anybody's gonna say either was whack at any point.
Right.
But breaking off into the lyrical category, does anyone stand out as above the other by a large margin, or y'all think they're like neck and neck? Like just judging lyrics.
Nah, it doesn't stand. I don't think it's. I don't think either one is running away in that category, because they're both.
Well, the fact that we all hesitated says it all.
Yeah, they're both superior lyricists, even in their time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it actually meant something to be a superior lyricist. You know.
Yeah.
And that's and that's different. I don't mean to cut you off, but and that's different than actually writing songs. We're just talking about lyrical breakdown.
I definitely want to just hear y'all takes on lyrics.
That's what I'm saying. And it's not like that. What I was trying to say is not gonna be. There's not gonna be a clear, winner, because they were both lyrically superior.
They both studied and honed their craft, for sure.
I will say this. In my opinion, I believe Pun used more words or was able to flex his, vocabulary more than Big L.
Yeah, I think L was a little more simpler.
Yeah. Not
as
trying
far
to
as-
say that he was whacker.
As far as verbiage.
Right, but L was able to flex, like I said, his vocabulary more on tracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in flow and all that, and how he was able to put it together. Like I say, I rank him top 3.
Well,
You know what I mean?
vocabulary-wise, yeah, Big Pun.
Yeah.
But flow-wise, I don't know.
Yeah, no. I just said vocabulary. I just said vocabulary. I didn't get to flow yet. I didn't get to flow.
Yeah.
Come on, my guy.
Nah,
I see what
Well,
you're
you know,
trying to
you
do
could
there, guy.
differentiate.
See, tricky dick.
You could differentiate lyrics and flow. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, no, we are.
Yeah,
So who
that
y'all
we are.
think got lyrics before we get to flow? Who y'all think just lyrics, just the word
Well,
usage?
Well, I think
I would have to say Big L.
Who?
I would have to say L. I mean, not L. I would have to say it's a tie between them lyrically. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about vocabulary, right?
No, we're just talking about lyrics.
Lyrics,
I
yeah.
just
Yeah,
gave you
yeah,
my break.
lyrics,
I
it's
gave
a
you my
tie.
break.
Well, I don't know.
gave
Do
you-
y'all want y'all gonna break it down, vocabulary and
I
then
did.
flow?
No. I mean, I broke it down to just lyricism, vocabulary. Flow
Nah.
to me is something different.
But Hard's assessment is accurate. We're all, I mean, come on, man. We're not fucking idiots. It's obvious.
Yeah.
That pun, I've used a lot more words in the dictionary, nigga, than L. You know what I'm saying? But that's what made them both hot, that they were different spitters in that way. Like,
Right.
you know what I
I
mean?
think lyrical, it goes to Big L. Big
Okay.
L is more lyrical.
Go
He
ahead.
put words together smoother than Big Pun. You know what I mean? Big Pun is more flow. You know what I'm saying?
You see, I would.
He's more flow. Big L can say his rhymes falling asleep and they'll sound hot. You know what I mean? Big Pun comes with an energy. So lyrical, I'll go with Big L. He puts
Wow,
words
that's
together
funny.
super
Yo.
smooth. Yeah,
It's funny.
Lyrical,
that, 'cause
Big
I
L,
will go
but
with
flow, Big
with
Y,
Big L.
Big Pun. Hold on.
yeah,
Take it, hold
flow.
on. Mook, lyrical, Big L, but flow, Big Pun.
Yeah, flow Big Pun. Cause
Wait,
He
no,
comes with
my
a
bad.
flow that you
Did
can
I
like-
say it backwards?
Nah, you said.
Nah,
no,
you said it
lyrical
right.
Big
You said
L.
it the way
Yeah,
you
yeah,
said it.
lyrical.
Yeah, your
Big
point.
L.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably what his fucking name stood for, Big Lyrical.
And then, JK, what were you going to say?
I think I would put that shit opposite, to be honest.
Yeah, I
Really?
would go
Nah,
with you, kid. I think I would go with you, kid.
We have
think
to look those words up. Then we have to look them up to see what they mean.
I
They
mean,
so
flow
similar.
as I know it, my whole life in hip hop, I gotta give it to Alan over Pun.
Really?
Yeah.
I kind of agree, man.
L,
that to me is a tougher.
But
category.
lyric Pun.
Yeah.
Really?
I
I
would-
had to see.
Wow.
I mean, lyrics, you know what? I wouldn't give it to Pun. I would say what you said in the beginning, Bundy. I would say that neither stands out more than the other. So you can't really have it.
Right. So they're neck and neck.
They up there. They both
Yeah, because to
superior.
me,
They up there.
yeah, no, I think they're neck and neck in both categories. I think both had unique flows that they could switch up at any point and turn into something else. And they both had a knack for syllable usage and word usage and just kind of riding the beat in a dope way.
double timing lyrics.
Yeah, double timing at a time where it wasn't as popular.
Right.
So yeah, I hate ties and shit. So if I had to say one or the
Yeah.
other lyrically, I would think Big Pun. Again, because he had better usage to me of his vocabulary, and Big L was more simple. But delivery or flow, which to me are equal or the same thing.
Yeah, basically one and the same.
Yeah, I might go Big L. So I would go
Yeah.
Big Pun
Yeah,
lyrics
me
and
That's
Big
what
L
the-
flow.
yeah.
That's what I said. I agree.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought, like, you know, for me, a Big L track is like you're putting it to listen to it to his words. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's lyrics. I don't know if I'm mistaking the two, but if I am, excuse me.
No,
but
no.
To me,
You're
you're listening.
correct.
You know,
Yeah, you're listening.
you're
for the
listening more
words.
to Big L for his lyrics. To Big Pun, you're listening to it more because of his like his flow, like, my nigga, when I want to get on some wild shit, I listen to fucking Big Pun. You know, I remember being in the car, and that's all we pumped, me and J Kid and Trees, for a minute.
No,
down
they're both
Capital
so
Punishment.
close.
Yeah, they are. That's
yeah,
why I said
they're both
it's not
so
a clear
close that
runner.
it's interchangeable either way.
Right. It all depends on mood, I believe, and the way you feel.
I guess the way I think about it, to be honest with you, is flow to me is you could go on forever, like almost. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Pun had more of a style and a flow, I guess, if you want to say that. You would have to punch in.
Yeah, like
little
short bursts. Yeah.
Feel me? Yeah, certain verses you got to punch him in because he's just going too fast. He can't catch up, maybe. He can't catch his breath or whatever the case may be. Because we all heard him, breathe while he's spitting. You feel me? Because we that much into hip hop, we listen to the, how that's how intricate we get with it. But
because we've done it.
I just feel like you would have to punch him in on his flow more than you would have to punch in a nigga like L. You put the beat on, that nigga's gonna flow forever.
Exactly. Yeah. Good shit.
It seemed to come more easy to him.
It's effort.
Yes, I would have to agree.
He was an effortless spitter to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So y'all fucking with me or what?
He on point with that.
Yeah.
I would have lyrically it's the time, but flow, Big L, Pun would have to be vocabulary. So lyrically it's the time.
All right. I wanted to get into those because I thought those were a little more neck and neck. I think the next category, songs. I think Pun runs away with that one, in my opinion. Better songs, unfortunately, like I said, the first Big L album had dope lyrics, but it didn't have memorable songs. And I think, obviously Capital Punishment and Yeah Baby just got memorable hit records and songs, timeless music that continues to last. So does anybody think it's closer than I think when it comes to song quality or just songs?
Nah, man, I think we all agree. I don't even think it's worth a debate.
Yeah.
But
like
we could do it.
It's that dominant?
Well, Big L had a lot of songs on more songs on his second album than his first album, clearly. More memorable ones. But I think we're all more partial to Pun for different reasons, I guess. Or maybe the same. I don't even know.
I mean, just look at the second album. One of the tracks is the 93 freestyle. That tells you everything you got to know. Right?
Yeah. Like I said before, it's a shame that we didn't get to see Big L and the Rockefeller partnership come to fruition. Because imagine if Big L would have got to be down with Rockefeller and get the producers
and the
that
backing,
they were
and the backing
using.
and
and the marketing and the direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because with Dame at that time, Big L died in what year?
98, I think, 97.
97.
Big L, I'm sorry, died in 98. Yeah. So right there was when Dame was getting into the full swing of Champagne Dame and dancing in the videos and having fun. So imagine Big L had that in his corner.
Yeah.
That shit would have been dope as fuck. He would have fucked with Just Blaze. He would have fucked with Kanye.
Yeah.
He would have fucked with Bink.
It was in '99.
He would have had money behind him.
15th.
Samuel, thinking about it, that word you used, you can't associate that word in none of Big L's music. The word fun.
Fun, right?
Like, it's funny you use that word, because he's just not that kind of fucking artist, nigga. I don't remember that nigga ever like having fun. If he was having a good time, he was still having.
He was dying
crooks
on the corners. Yeah, Harlem.
I think Dame would have brought the fun out. I think Rockefeller would have brought the fun out and made him more accessible and made him but more of a well-rounded artist.
Yeah.
To where the song conversation could have been a little closer.
Hell yeah.
I think he would have got imagine if he was getting all the fucking state property beats.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, if that would have been went to Flamboyant.
Some of them beanie Eagle beats.
Yeah.
Or just with some of his storytelling as well, he would have been the storyteller on the label.
Exactly, and that's not even getting into like what he would have done had he been on tracks with Jigga, you know?
Right. Wow, he would have had
Kanye.
with Jigga.
Yeah, Kanye would have came up, and then they would have.
On a Kanye beat, nigga. What?
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
He would have elevated Meth Bleak.
Early Kanye and Big L lyrics, like
Timbo, L on Timbo beats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That I think that's one of the biggest shames in hip hop that we never got to see that.
His full potential. Word.
Yeah.
Yo, Burnz, you know what that is? It's like a hip hop what if. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's one of the biggest ones.
This should be a new segment. Future Pod.
Word. Future Pod. We should definitely talk about hip hop what ifs.
There's been a few.
Yeah.
Writing it down.
You know Biggie's gonna come up in that one. I try to avoid Biggie coming up in every episode because I feel like he comes up in every single episode.
But he does.
And I was trying to take advantage.
Shout out to Black. Shout out to Black. Black Bolt.
I was trying to
Black
take
Dog.
advantage that the Black Bolt wasn't here.
Did it work? Did it?
Damn it, Biggie did
Did it again.
Yeah, shout out to the Black Vault. He plugged the IG last week, so at the Black Vault, BLACC. Yeah. So songs easy for pun, easy win. Impact. I don't want it to be all easy pun wins, you know, but Impact, like damn, Big L didn't.
I don't think that's easy pun, you know.
Nah, you don't think Impact is easy pun?
I mean, yo.
No.
Talk to me.
He might have it, but I don't think it's it's an easy win either.
Nah,
I
don't
know,
think so either. Yeah. Because
Al was he was talented as well. He was respected.
Burnz, but he did have an impact, yo. Like even on his rhyme style and everything, even though it's not evident today
so
and shit.
Tell me, break it down to me as to why. Let me tell y'all why I think pun had a bigger impact. I think Big L, when he died, that helped him to cross over and gain more fans.
Right. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I believe
so.
Pun's
I think his
is greater.
impact was all after his death. Is when people went back and studied him more and realized, that he was as good as he was. I think Pun got to see his impact during his lifetime.
Right.
He was alive when his first album hit, and it was a big deal. It was a historic moment in hip hop.
Latinos going hip hop.
And during that whole time frame, Latino artists like took off, with J-Lo and Mark Anthony and Pun, and it was all interconnected and shit. So
he was the first Latin rapper to go platinum.
Yeah, he got to experience his impact. I don't think Big L did. So I think now, even now, like Pun is more immortalized than Big L, more celebrated.
Because he had the backing of a whole country as well.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. So that's why to me it was like an easy one.
Yeah.
But if y'all disagree, I want to know why.
No. I was just trying to make the point that it's not a clear runaway as well. You know what I mean? Even though Pun's impact was greater, I will not disagree. You know what I'm saying? Because
no, but I want you to disagree.
You know what?
I can't though. Like I would have no argument really.
Nah, man, damn.
Somebody
disagree.
Somebody disagree. Yeah, I'm gonna disagree a little bit. I'm gonna say that Big L has a lot of following in Europe and that whole touring scene. You know what I mean?
Right,
More so than a Big Pun, I believe.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't doubt
it. And it depends on what you're asking about, because what kind of lane do you mean in terms of legacy? Like, it's a hip hop or legacy. Impact. Yeah, no, of course it's going to be Pun because of his Latin roots and what he was able to do. in terms of breaking through as a hip hop artist, a la like Eminem, who is now, you know, of the black minority. Pun was of the minority, but the Latins, you know, the Browns. So him breaking through as that type of artist, that, come on, man, it solidifies his place in hip hop forever. Big L, in terms of his affiliations, what he was able to do before he passed away in terms of performances, singles, it reaches a long line in hip hop itself, just hip hop, maybe like New York backpacker or New York underground, New York grimy sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my bad.
It affects, you know,
a fucking nail in the wall.
It's an impact. Yeah, I'm nailing my point home. You know what I'm saying? It's an impact more to that type of world. To that type of world, to that type of hip hop, because we don't know what's overseas. You know what I mean? We only know what's here.
Yeah.
You feel me?
All right. I get your breakdown. Who had a bigger impact?
To me, it was Big Pun. To me, bigger impact to me was Big Pun.
He went through this whole soliloquy about Big L. Oh, it's Big Pun.
He always does that.
Y'all gotta feel me though. Y'all gotta open up your minds. Y'all gotta feel me.
I know, man.
Anybody say Big L had a bigger impact?
Anybody? Temperature.
I think it's a tie. I don't think it's a big win, like a dominant win for Big Pun. I think Big L actually had a bigger impact than not just after his death, during that time for hip hop. Like he may have even influenced Pun at a time, because at that era, Big L was coming up, but Big L was on. He was way more bigger than people think, obviously, and the impact he's had after his death is relevant. I'm saying we're partially going to be more, I get, not to say biased, because we're majority Latino, and Big Pun is the first Latin rapper to go platinum.
No,
That's
I think
historic.
we are. I think we are more
That's a
biased
good point.
than we'd like to admit.
Yeah, exactly.
But for me personally, not just because like, I have Harlem roots, but like, Big L had a big impact, not just in his community and coming up, but in hip hop. And in DRTC, which they're all affiliated. Yo, all them cats, all them Lil Finesse, all them cats got put. Fat Joe, the nigga who fucking put on Big Pun was fucking with Big L.
Exactly. They all got tracks together. You know they have a track together, Big L and Big Pun.
Not only was they got tracks together, I guarantee the motherfuckers was chilling together, packing Macs, chilling with guns. Like, these niggas are from the streets. And Big L, his impact for me is it's not like a big dominant for Pun.
New York shit. That New York
That's
shit.
what I said.
Yeah,
It's
some
not
real
easy
New
to
York
take away.
shit.
It's not easy to take away.
I like that, though. Thank you for getting passionate and giving me a definitive answer and a reason as to why you felt that way.
Yes. Keep talking your shit, trees.
Word up.
Keep talking your shit, trees.
Yeah, damn, impact. All right. So that's actually a lot closer than I thought. That was a very good argument and a good rebuttal. So then let's go to longevity. Who do y'all think had has more longevity? Potential, not even, because potential fulfilled, because they've both been dead going on 20 years.
Yeah.
So.
And they still ring bells.
Yeah. Do you just think Big Pun rings more bells?
It's like I said, he's got the backing of an entire country, so it's totally different with him, man.
I guess it depends on the circle.
It's the thing with him is that he's got a tremendous. Like you said, when he died, he had a tremendous crossover appeal already. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he would automatically gain more fans, man. Like, it's just how many people do you touch? That's your longevity. You know what I mean?
So you think this one's a more clear-cut winner? My bad, J-Kid. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
You good, my brother. Excuse me. These last two topics almost go hand in hand as far as impact and longevity. I think it's just it's hard to really, differentiate the two, because it was a different era almost. Like by the time that pun was really coming out to where the majority of people would recognize him, you know, in talking about impact and longevity in reference to it, you know what I'm saying? You could say that a lot of true hip hop motherfuckers by 98 were already saying that the art was dead. You feel me? Meaning that Al ruled in when it was alive and Big Pun was coming when it was dying. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's real. It's easy to give it to him on these last two topics because the industry changed. So it was easier for people to go out and get his music. He was more known. And the fact that he's Puerto Rican, you could almost put an asterisk on that as to not include it, but it's a reality. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So, you feel me? So
He had a broader reach, man.
You know,
At the point-
it may not be an easy runaway as people would think, but he's got the tool because of how, you know, just because of how it all played out. You feel me? He was coming in a time already where Al was already the man for years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then in the time when he was coming in, the music had blossomed to be into the mainstream.
Right. Yeah, hip-hop itself had evolved and grown.
And the world itself, the internet as well, you know? Shit, 94, 98 as far as technology.
Yeah,
99
that was a big leap. That was a big leap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a big fucking difference. So
that's what I said. That like the technological advances in music and the way it sounded and shit, it just changed. It was a tremendous leap from one year to another, and then after that, it was a tremendous progression and shit. You know what I mean? Respect.
Yeah. So definitely Punk got more longevity, most definitely.
Yeah.
No matter how you slice it.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, yeah. So pun longevity. What's the word? Unanimous.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
Unanimous.
All right. So then just after all the categories and all the breakdowns and all the back and forth, which has been fun, and I appreciate the banter, we're going to do... we're going to have to make a final decision. So in a head-to-head... not battle, not like live battle like we discussed earlier, but in just selecting one artist. If you had to pick between Big L and Big Pun, and we'll go around to each host, which artist are you picking? So
I'll let the brothers go first.
Yeah, let's see what the brothers have to say. So Mook, if you got to pick, oh shit, hold on.
wait, what happened?
Let me see, because Mook be coming with the 20-minute
make him go first. That's what's up. Yes.
That's why you should let him go first.
Kick the door, Mook.
Damn, yeah.
Kick the door.
Go ahead, Mook. Tell me, if you got to pick one, who you picking?
Yeah.
If I got to pick one, I'm picking Pun, man. Come on, man. There's no questions, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But, you know, Big L ain't nothing to sneeze at, as we all know. That's the point of this debate. We all know how it's going down, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, if you want a mercenary on your track, you go and get Big L. That's it.
Yeah, but...
You know? But I'm going to go with Pun.
Right. So Pun for you.
You know?
J Trees? Let's see. Who you got?
When we're talking about overall categories, and if you're breaking it down, like putting one check here, one check there, one check here, one check there, I'd say Pun outweighs him in categories. But if I had to pick personally, me, it's a close. I'm not gonna say it's Pun dominantly. It's like a close. It's a close win. It's like, for me, I'm a little partial to Pun for a lot of reasons, but Big L is not too far behind him. You know, it's like a close second.
I feel him, though. I feel you on that, man.
With Big L, yo. Big L is a close second. It's like
very close
it's like two. For me, it's like two race horses that, who won? It's by the hair or by the nose, whatever. Like, for me, Big L... I think if Big L would have been put in the same situation that Big Pun was, piggybacking off of the whole Rockefeller what if, I think Big L would have those categories that Big Pun has, like longevity, impact, and making more commercial tracks.
Yeah, but it never happened,
and that clearly we're talking about realistically speaking. So personally, yeah, I would have to say Big Pun by the skin of his teeth. Yeah.
All right, JK.
Stomach. Big Pun.
Yeah, I ain't gonna make it that long. I mean, it's fun. I guess if I'm running for a flight or something and I only got room for a CD or both albums of one artist, I'm gonna go with Pun. So that's my answer. It's kind of like how I put it. You know what I mean? He's got better material for me personally to rock to on a flight, on a long trip, on whatever.
All right, VS.
I agree with Kid. I'm not gonna get into the theatrics.
Nobody wants to do the build-up.
You want me to do the build-up? Shut up. Because I'll do the build-up, man. I got it. Trust me, I've rehearsed it in my head a million times.
Well, damn, if you rehearsed it.
Nah.
But we don't really have this.
He rehearsed a bachelor.
What was that, JK? My bad.
Go ahead, JK. What'd you say?
No, I was just saying that we all pretty much have the same outlook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think, anyway.
Yeah, Pun was just like I said, he was able, I hold him in high regard because of his technical ability and everything, and he was able to do things with words that were almost at the time probably unmatched, and he was one of the top, man. He did it, man. And the fact, like I said, that we're all biased because we're all Latino and shit, and that's the way it is and shit. Yeah. I go with Pun, man. He had, like I said, a broader reach at the time that he passed. I'll go with Pun.
Yeah. I'll also go with Pun. If I had to pick an artist for one song, like as a feature between the two, I would take Pun. If I had to pick one artist to build a label around, I would take Pun. If I had to pick one album to listen to on repeat more than once, on repeat more than once. That's redundant. Yeah. But if I had to pick one album, I would take Pun. So yeah, it's a clean sweep for Pun.
But Big L doesn't fall.
But Big L is not far behind.
Yeah, he's a monster, man.
Rest in peace to both.
Yes, absolutely.
Two legends.
Absolutely.
Whose music and legacies do live on.
Hell yeah.
But that was episode 6 of the Great American Hip Hop Debate at GAHHD_podcast on the gram. So follow that, check that out.
Yeah.
Sign offs. Let's go Florida first. Mook, sign off.
Yo, Big Pun for life. Yo, and Big Lyrical. I love you, man. It's almost unfair that we did this show. Big L is almost unfair that we did this, but if you're listening to heaven, smile down on us because we appreciate everything you bought, my brother. Mm-hmm. To my niggas up top, you already know. See y'all soon. And my brothers down here, you already.
Move. One love. J Trees, sign off.
One love, baby.
Trees. Yes. Yo. Glad to be here. Appreciate the love. Pun. LGP. Latin's going platinum. You already know what time it is. BX, baby. But Big L, you don't fall short, yo. Flamboyant for life, 139, NFL, Harlem, finest, yo, for real. So great topic. You already know my brothers up top, forever, LBE. My brothers down here, we ride.
All right, J Trees, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I hope to have you back again. Mm-hmm. J Kid, sign off.
Yeah, fellas. Great episode again. Great American Hip Hop Debate. Happy to be here. It's J Kid signing off. To all the listeners, thank you. We appreciate your comments and your outlook on everything. Keep it coming. To the artists, rest in peace. Both very special gentlemen. It's just sad that lives got cut short in the middle of their prime as far as lyrically and their music. And yeah, and J Kid signing off, man. Ladies, keep it tight. Fellas, keep it real, man. Be blessed.
Like it.
Yes. One love, JK. VS.
VSOP here, man. Chilling. Great American Hip Hop Debate. Like I said, listen, like, we on fucking SoundCloud. Comment. Definitely comment. You know what I mean? We love the feedback and shit. Let us know what we missed, if we missed anything. You know what I mean?
Share.
Yeah, man. Share.
Check
All
the
that.
YouTube, Great American
that.
Hip Hop Debate podcast on YouTube.
Yep.
Check the SoundCloud. Check the Gram. It's all available. Check all the links. Click all the links.
Twitter, all that.
Yeah. I am Burnz. As always, walk with pride, walk with your chin up. Treat yourself with honor. Treat yourself with respect. The Great American Hip Hop Debate podcast signing off. Somebody hit my music.
Hey.
Yes.